Do you regret leaving uni? Did you and Harry break up? Did not think I was gonna almost cry. Was there any toddler-sized spiders, or better yet, any spider-sized toddlers? Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. So this week I decided to do a cheeky little Q&A and I posted it to my Instagram and I got some juicy questions, let me tell you guys. You did not hold back. Like, somebody asked me my body count, I'm not even kidding. So we got definitely some interesting questions. I decided to do a Q&A all about my time in Australia, about whatever the heck you guys wanted to know. And you had a lot of questions. So the same as in my other sit-down videos, grab your alcoholic beverage, make tea like I did, get some food, strap in for the ride, because boy, do we have some stuff to get into. Okay, so there's some really interesting questions. Okay, so I'm just gonna be looking at my phone because I just have them all screenshotted from Instagram. Let's just start off easy before we really get into them. What is the hardest part about leaving, and did you ever miss your family and think about coming home? I think the hardest part about leaving for me was actually other people's opinions and judgments, which is kind of crazy, but before I left to actually go to Australia, I really valued other people's opinions, and I kind of briefly spoke on this in my last video, the one about basically what happened in the last year of my life. I did a lot of things because I thought it would make everybody around me proud. I needed a lot of external validation to have internal validation, if that makes sense. And so the hardest part for me was everybody's reaction. That was something that was really difficult for me, but also something that I've grown the most from, for sure. Did you ever miss your family, and did you think about coming home? Was the second part of that? Yes, I miss my family every single day. So my mom and I went on a trip to Hawaii, basically is like my send-off, kind of see you later trip, and so I don't know if I've ever cried as hard as I cried at the airport saying goodbye to her, and that was really friggin' hard. We were literally texting in the airport before my plane even took off for 2 hours after we just spent an entire week together. It was definitely a lot harder at the start because I didn't know anybody, but I just kind of got used to living without my family, and we've still FaceTimed a decent amount. I'm just not a person that needs a whole ton of communication with one person. I just never have been. But yeah, I absolutely missed them. That's why I came home for Christmas time, is I knew I just needed some time with my family and I wanted to see everyone again. And yeah, I miss my friends and family like crazy. Oh my god, that was only one question. Are you planning on going anywhere else? Yes and no. So before, I don't know if I can say it. Before we were all in ISO, I had planned on living in Australia semi-permanently, and so that was my plan. But currently I've decided I'm gonna stay here and go to school here for a couple of years at least and do my thing in Canada. Eventually I'd like to move to the States for a couple of years, or at least out to Vancouver. In the more near future, other than in 4 to 6 years away, I would say yes, I really want to go to Europe and Africa and back to Australia in the next 4 to 5 years, and then probably some other smaller vacays. But my family's gonna be happy that I'm gonna stay in Nova Scotia for a little bit. Do you regret leaving uni because now you have so long left? Yeah, I do have quite a while left now. I'm starting a new 5-year degree. I'm gonna be 21 in the fall, so I'll graduate by the time I'm 25, almost 26. Yeah, that's a while to be in school, but at the same time, no, I definitely don't. I do wish that my degree didn't have to be 5 years and could maybe only be 2 or 3, but at the same time, I think that we all just kind of have our own path and our own timeline. I don't necessarily think that you need to be 22 or 23 and graduated from university. I wouldn't change anything. I've just learned from everything that's happened to me. So absolutely not. I just wish that I wasn't going to school for another 5 years, but whatever, it is what it is. Was there any toddler-sized spiders, or better yet, any spider-sized toddlers? No. I was actually really lucky because I only ever saw one big spider the whole time I was there, and it was like a week before I left, and it was a huntsman. They're not like dangerous, they bite, they don't harm you. It was literally like the size of my face. Like it was massive. Other than that, I only saw like maybe loony sized ones at the most. How many kangaroo related murders did you witness? More than 50? I saw a kangaroo once. I was in Sydney City, like I was in the city. You just don't see it. That'd be like if you saw a deer or moose just walking around on Main Street. You don't see it. How much money would you have to save up before going? This is a really good question. So I made not a rash decision, but it was definitely not planned over like a year or my whole life. Hey guys, so Future Just here. I was editing the vlog and I realized that I was trying to explain to you how much money I had saved up and how much you need to save up, and I didn't even come up with an accurate answer for you. So I'm just gonna pop in and give you guys what I think. So I went down to Australia and I had a source of income for the whole time I was there. Take that into consideration. If you're going for a holiday, start with your visa, so you're gonna need a working holiday visa, and that is $500. And you need that to be able to get into the country. Then the flight. The flight alone is $2,500 to $3,000 for a round trip, and also it depends on what kind of time of year you fly. An Airbnb or your rent is gonna cost you about $200 to $300 a week, pretty much no matter where you are. So food and transport, it's gonna be about $200 a week. It took me less than a week to find a job, but obviously it took me a week to get paid because you get paid every week down there. So what I said is if you're going down there with the intentions to work and you found a job beforehand, or you go down there and you're lucky enough to find one really quickly, then I'd say between $4,500 and $5,500 is pretty safe. But yeah, if you're going down for a holiday, I'd recommend about $8,000 to $10,000. Depending on how long you go, I'm assuming you're probably gonna go for 2 months or so. That was my estimate, and that is with flights and everything to other parts of Australia. But all said and done, that's pretty much how much I would recommend. Oh, and another question was, this one cracked me up. How did you afford to party for 3 months straight? This is anonymous, so I'm not gonna call you out, but good question. And you were clearly observing on my social media. Okay, so if you guys know, basically from September, October, and November, I was in Australia and I worked a really awesome job. So this was also a question. I'm gonna answer it like 2 in 1. What did you do? That's a really general question, so I'm just gonna these 2 into 1. So I had a job when I was down there. I did door-to-door sales, and so that was the first job that I had, and there's a very big party culture in that job. Let me just explain to you. So on Tuesday we would go to like something called Taco Tuesday, so we would all go there, and like if you made a certain amount of sales, like your food and your drinks got bought for you. And then Thursday night we had like Thursday night drinks, where we would go to a place called Strawberry Hills. It was just a bar in the center of the city, and so we would go there, and again, like if you met targets and goals and whatever, you would just get like your drinks and your food bought. And then Friday night drinks, we went to a place called Sidebar. There was a bar tab, and it just depended on how well we did, but the owner of the company would spend like dollars. I don't really know what I can say, but I know it was a lot of money that they spent on alcohol for us. So that's like 3 nights alone at like work functions that weren't mandatory, but they were encouraged. Yeah, so how did I afford to party? Because my company paid for a lot of my partying. I drank a lot of $5 wine, and there's also box wine called Goon. You wouldn't really know what it was unless you went to Australia, or I think it's just in Australia, but it's like a really cheap box wine, so I drank a lot of that. Like I said, I didn't just go to Australia for 3 months and not have any source of income. I did have like a job where I made money so I could pay my rent and I could party. That's pretty much it. Were there any big differences you've noticed? Like, it's so crazy. There's definitely a lot of big differences. There's a lot of things that are pretty similar, but there's definitely a lot of big differences. So one is just, they didn't take things so seriously. My bosses would call me a They would just swear at me all the time, and not in like a malicious way, just in a really joking way, and it was just like everything was more lighthearted. It was really fun to work there. Yeah, and everyone says like every person. It's not like in Canada if you called someone a it would be a really bad insult there. My manager on my second day called me a I was shook because it was my second week in Australia, and I was heartbroken because I thought I offended him, but I didn't. Some things like slang, like a bottle-o is a liquor store. What? Tradies, so that's just people that are in the trades. In the arvo, in the afternoon. Bogan, which is like from the sticks, country, that kind of thing. Oath is just like true that. Oh, and root. So here in Canada, root would mean a tree root, or the brand of Roots. Roots is a really popular brand. It has like a beaver logo. It's a very Canadian thing, and root means to in Australia. So I was just wearing my Roots sweatpants on like one of my first weeks, walking down in the middle of Town Hall, which is just one of the centers of Sydney, and I got hollered at. So needless to say, I did not wear them out of my apartment or my Airbnb really ever after that. This is a really interesting one. This is a good one. How did you meet people in Australia if you traveled alone? Okay, so one of the best things I ever did was get a job, and it was a job that most people that did it were backpackers. So there was people from like France. I met a really cool guy called Gab, and we are still good friends. I met Lisa. If you guys watch my videos at all, you'll know she was my roommate, and she's one of my best friends now. I met a girl called Keely, Harry, Talia, Dwayne, Liv, Sophie, and a bunch of other awesome people. And we all met through this place. Sorry, my camera overheated, so I had to take a little bit of a breather. I'm trying to figure out where I was at. Oh yes, my job. Met the greatest people that I've ever met probably in my life. This one got asked a couple of times. My favorite places to visit, and then also like what are the worst places. Okay, so I didn't go anywhere that I didn't really like, other than if I went to like the middle of nowhere. I went to Canberra on a work trip, and it was really fun because of the people that I was with, but it's like it is the capital of Australia, I think. I need to fact check myself, but there's nothing to do there really. There's a bunch of politicians. Like, I would skip going there and go to Sydney instead. I never actually got the chance to go to Melbourne or to Perth or the Gold Coast. Like, I've never really got the chance to travel, which is one of the main reasons why I want to go back to Australia, is to do a lot of the traveling that I missed out on. Fave moment. Aw, this is so cute. Fave moment, fave memory. This got asked a couple of times. There's literally just too many. Like, okay, when I first started working for the first fundraising company, some of the first like Friday night dinners that we went out to with all of my friends, and pub nights like at Strawberry Hills, those are some of my favorite memories just because of the people alone, and we bonded so much and we got so close with all of these people. But yes, yeah, so yeah, those are some of my favorite times, honestly. Like, just literally pub nights, like nothing crazy. So there was a Halloween party that we all went to. There was a work trip to two places, Aubrey and Coffs Harbour, which were two of my favorite road trips that we went on. And one of our friends from work, Jared, hosted a Halloween party, and oh, I'm gonna get emotional. I did not think I was gonna like almost cry. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, some of my favorite memories. I mean, also like meeting all of the people that I met and doing things with them. There's just like too many. There's so many. Every day, every single day I was there. There's a couple more questions I'm gonna answer, and then I'm cutting it off. The craziest thing I did, oh my god, I can't say it. God, I don't know, I didn't do like that many crazy things. I feel like I was pretty tame. We got a lot of hotels and, you know, had like hotel parties a lot. I guess like hotel parties is what I'm gonna say on YouTube. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading. This is probably the thing that you guys want to know the most. Did you date anyone? What happened to that Australian guy? Are you single? Did you hook up with anyone down under? Did you and Harry break up? Okay, let's talk about this. Did you hook up with anyone down under? We're not going to disclose numbers here, but I did date in Australia for sure. I dated multiple people, but nothing was serious other than one person. So, did you date anyone? Yes, I did seriously date one guy, and his name is Harry, and I was literally just like on FaceTime with him, and I was like, yo, people want to know about us, can I talk about us on YouTube? And we're still good friends. How did you meet Harry? All of these questions combined into one. We're gonna do a timeline. So I met Harry the way that I met all the rest of my Australian friends and my international friends, through the place that I worked, first job that I had. So basically our whole friend group were just like intertwined. We were inseparable. We literally saw each other every single day, even on the weekends. It was crazy. But yeah, so we met through there. I was kind of seeing another guy that I worked with. That was just a fling. That wasn't anything really important. It's really funny because when I first met him, I literally thought that he hated me. Like, I thought that he was like super cocky, really full of himself, like thought he was way too good for me, because that's just the vibe that I got. And I was like, why won't this guy talk to me? Like, I'm really friendly, like what the heck? But we were talking about this later on, and he was like, I was just so nervous to be around you that it was like intimidating and I couldn't say anything. Like, I was too nervous. Anyway, so I didn't like him when I first met him, and he wouldn't even talk to me for like the first couple of weeks that we worked together. And by, you know, the couple of week point, when I met Lisa the same day, or even a day or two later, Lisa and I had moved in together and we were like this, and Harry still wouldn't even talk to me even though we were still in the same friend group. We ended up talking, and we took the longest to get close, but when we got close, we were literally inseparable. And so we started dating, like not officially, but in like October, early October, mid-October, and then we started seeing each other until like November, December. We kind of took a break for when I came home for Christmas, and then I literally flew back to Australia the day that he left for New Zealand, which was in January. So we were talking the whole time, but not like together. And then when he got back, we finally were like, okay, and we dated. So that was in, I should know the dates for Harry. That was in February for sure. Yeah, so then we were dating, and obviously this thing kind of went down, and somebody said, did you and Harry break up? Okay, so I'm back again because I went on a tangent trying to explain to you guys why Harry and I broke up. The catalyst was definitely, you know, what's going on right now in the world and why I'm back in Canada in the first place. We thought for our situation at our age, the fact that I'm staying in Canada, the fact that he's staying in Australia, it didn't make sense for us to put so much effort and time into a relationship when neither of us were willing to sacrifice moving to another country. And we decided it was probably just better that we stayed as friends before we ended up resenting each other. That's just the honest answer. There's no drama, there's no crazy story, there's no big fight, there's nothing that happened. It was one of the best relationships that I've ever been in. He's one of the best people that I still have in my life, and I wish him nothing but the best. So, if any of you were wishing for some crazy drama, you're coming to the wrong place. We just decided that we were going to stay friends, and we were both really happy with the decision. And she still took me to the airport and, you know, said our goodbyes. Okay, and so the very last question that I'm going to talk to you guys about is, would you recommend this to somebody else? Here's what I'm going to say. I can't tell you what you need in your life and what you feel like you're missing. But if you're curious about other cultures, maybe having a fresh start and not having any expectations of people that know you and having to fill this persona that you don't really feel like you fit in with anymore, if you want to get away from judgment, if you want some distance from friends or family, if you just want to go have fun somewhere, if you need more time to decide what you want to do in your life, if you feel like you need a refresher, then it really worked for me. And I'm not saying just like run away from your problems, but sometimes dealing with the problems where they started isn't always ideal. And so I've never had a better 8 months in my life. And I wouldn't change anything, and I learned so much. I met some of the best people that I feel like are going to be part of my life forever. I made some unbreakable bonds, and I've never learned and grown so much in such a small period of time. So yeah, if you're curious, it doesn't have to be Australia. It could be Europe, it could be the States, it could be the next province or state or city over. But that is going to be all for this juicy Q&A. I hope that you guys feel like we're more connected now, because I feel like you know a lot about me. That's gonna be it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this kind of video. If you guys want to check out my Instagram, it's just linked right here. That's where I post all of my stories on the daily, just about what I eat and what I'm doing, just kind of keep you guys updated with my life. If you like these kind of things, let me know, and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. It really helps support and grow my channel. I love and appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.